Describe a time you faced a conflict at work. How did you handle it?
In my previous role, there was a disagreement between two team members over how to allocate resources for a project. Instead of choosing sides, I facilitated a meeting where both could express their views. By listening carefully and asking open-ended questions, we were able to identify the root cause of the conflict and compromise. In the end, we adjusted the plan to meet both concerns, which improved team collaboration and efficiency.
Tell me about a time you had to manage multiple projects with tight deadlines. How did you prioritize?
During a busy period, I was responsible for managing three high-priority projects simultaneously. I started by listing all tasks and their deadlines. Then I identified which tasks were time-sensitive and which ones had dependencies. I used project management software to create timelines and set reminders for milestones. I also communicated regularly with stakeholders to ensure expectations were clear and deadlines could be adjusted if needed. This approach allowed me to complete all projects on time.
How would you handle a situation where you were asked to do something you've never done before?
In a previous role, I was asked to lead a project using a new software platform I wasn't familiar with. I immediately sought out online training resources and consulted with colleagues who had experience with the platform. I also set up a meeting with a vendor to ensure I understood the technical aspects. Within a few days, I felt confident enough to lead the project and even introduce new efficiencies based on what I learned.
Give an example of a time you made a mistake. How did you handle it?
Once, I miscommunicated a key piece of information to a client, which led to some confusion and a missed deadline. I quickly took ownership of the mistake, apologized to the client, and worked overtime to rectify the issue. I also implemented a checklist system to prevent future communication errors. The client appreciated my honesty, and our relationship remained strong.
Tell me about a time when you had to adapt to a significant change at work.
Our company underwent a major restructuring, which meant new roles and responsibilities for many team members, including myself. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I focused on understanding the new expectations by attending training sessions and seeking clarification from my manager. I also offered to help others in my team adjust, which helped everyone transition smoothly. Embracing the change helped me develop new skills and increased my value to the team.
Describe a time you had to make a quick decision with limited information.
While working on a marketing campaign, a vendor unexpectedly pulled out last minute. With only hours left, I had to quickly find an alternative. I assessed the available options and made a decision based on the vendor's past performance and reliability. I was able to secure a replacement vendor, and the campaign proceeded as planned. In the end, the quick decision didn't affect the outcome, and the project was successful.
How do you handle working with a difficult coworker?
I once worked with a coworker who was highly critical and resistant to feedback. Instead of getting frustrated, I arranged a one-on-one meeting to understand their concerns. I listened carefully, and we found common ground on how to collaborate better. Over time, I made sure to acknowledge their strengths and offered constructive feedback in a way they found more acceptable. Our working relationship improved, and we were able to collaborate more effectively.
Tell me about a time you went above and beyond to deliver exceptional results.
I was working on a client project that had tight deadlines and complex requirements. After completing my portion of the work, I noticed the client had additional needs that weren't originally addressed. I took the initiative to provide additional insights and solutions, even though it wasn't expected. As a result, the client was extremely pleased and extended our contract for future projects.
Describe a time you had to persuade someone to adopt your point of view.
During a team meeting, I proposed a new workflow to improve efficiency, but not everyone was on board. I took time to explain the benefits of the new process, backed it up with data showing potential time savings, and offered to pilot the process for a week to show results. After seeing the data and the improvements during the pilot, the team agreed to implement the new workflow.
How would you handle a situation where a team member isn't pulling their weight?
In one project, a team member consistently missed deadlines, which impacted the overall progress. I approached them privately to understand if there were any challenges they were facing. It turned out they were overwhelmed with other responsibilities. I helped them prioritize tasks and offered assistance where possible. Additionally, I communicated with the rest of the team to reassign some tasks, ensuring the project stayed on track.